The next section is called Returning to Mozambique. We were fortunate in the meantime that we managed to sell the ranch. A couple of months after that devastating hailstorm we experienced and which destroyed our, so difficult to speak about it, which destroyed our whole tobacco crop, which was beautiful, had a wonderful potential, and was ready to be harvested within the next 14 days or so. Now, we were lucky to have sold the ranch. My friend Helmut Lesman was also a real estate agent, and he managed to find a farmer in Austria. Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, he was also a farmer in Austria, and he was looking for a tobacco farm. Now, we were extremely lucky because not a lot of people are looking for tobacco farms to buy. Yes, if it's just cattle, yes, 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 but not a tobacco farm set up. Remember, we had all the. Remember, we had all the what do you call it? Curing barns or ovens. Yes, the whole running operation. Yeah,
Big investment.
it is. Luckily, the guy who wanted to buy the ranch, the farm, lock, stock, and barrel, a going concern as is. I was very happy about that, but I said, "Yep, just remember that the cattle are not part of the farm or the ranch. They're not included in the deal." I managed to sell my cattle separately. So we were very fortunate to have Helmut as a part as a friend doing real estate. I was reluctant to leave the Fallwater area. I was very happy there. Uh, it's the bushveld. You can take me out of the bush, but you can't take the bush out of me. I love the area. We had great friends. It was not an easy thing to sever all ties and move on to a new community. The result was that I rented a house from a friend of mine, Jan Blichnout. He had an extra house on his ranch. It's about maybe 10 miles out of Fallwater. But that enabled me to continue with that enabled me to continue my operations as a professional hunter and outfitter. I'm in the bush, I'm not far from hunting areas, so that fitted me well. My wife Tia was not happy with the place at all. First of all, the place was not a patch on the house we lived in on Drietloof on the ranch. And we lived there for a couple of months, which allowed me to do some safaris, etc., etc. But I got back home after one safari, and of course, my wife put her foot down. She said, "No, we're not going to stay here with me." She lives in this place that she's not happy with. It's not a place where she did not even feel comfortable to invite friends there for dinner. And if we moved to Nailstrom, she would be able to teach at the local high school, and she had a number of friends there, and she wouldn't be so lonely. Now, I had no argument to that. I mean, no, what it is absolutely the truth. I came back from safari, and Tia said, "Yeah, okay. Tomorrow morning she wants to go and show me the new house." I said, "What?" She says, "Yes, she bought a house in Nelstrom. She already made an offer, and the offer was accepted, and she went to the lawyer and she signed the purchase contract. Blah blah blah. No problem with the loan. We're moving to Nelstrom." I actually liked the place. It was a huge house. It was a 4-bedroomed house, uh, complete with a well, a borehole as we call it there, and 2 acres in extent, and had, as I say, an equipped well, including a tennis court. I was not much of a tennis player, but it was there. Moving to Nelstrom was not a dramatic experience for me because I also knew a lot of people there, and it was just a continuation of our friends with friends that we knew, just living in a decent place for a change. Now, okay, one thing I wanted was a swimming pool. So we had hardly moved into the house, and I discussed the swimming pool idea with the guy who was my gardener, and we plotted it out with a hose pipe where and how I would like the shape and where I would like it. This is the exact shape, and it was good, And that evening we went dinner, whatever. Following morning, I said, "Where's Philemon?" There was no sign of Philemon. I talked to Betta, our chef and housekeeper. I said, "What's the story with Philemon?" She started laughing. She says, "No, he was under the impression that he had to dig this hole for the swimming pool, and he was not up for it, so he just took off." Now, our third child, Lorica, was about a year old when we moved to Nelstrom. So she was really, still a little youngster. And the only recollection to this day that she has of our life in South Africa was our life in Nelstrom. She doesn't know anything from the days on the ranch, obviously. Same thing with Talia. Talia was maybe 7 years old or whatever. So there's not much of a recollection for her as well. But Lorica, nothing. Now, one morning around 11 o'clock, somebody "Where's Lorica?" asked, "Where's Lorica?" I said, "No, she was here with me a minute ago." "Well, she's not anymore." Sliding doors of my trophy room were open. She could walk, year and a bit. Over the tennis court, first, you know, the first thing that you do is run to the swimming pool. Let me put it that way. Okay, and then we ran to the neighbor. The tennis court had an opening, a gate on our side of the tennis court and on the neighbor's side. For the neighbors, if they want to come and play tennis, open, come and play tennis. My gosh, man, that's how we were in South Africa. You don't have to make an appointment and drive all around. Damn it, put a gate in there and makes it easy for them. So here we go. We run to Tilla's house, Tilla and Jan, and luckily their pool is fenced and the gate was closed, so Lorica was not there either. And the next moment I hear Tia yelling, "I found her, I found her." And I said, "Oh my God, what now?" Lorica was playing inside the house, the neighbor's house. She snuck in through the back door, which was open, wide open. Nobody closes doors there. And she went through the back door, through the kitchen, down the hallway into one of the neighbor's kids' room. And there she was, very happily playing with the doll. Now, it was such a relief for both Tia, myself, and everybody who was involved in the search party to find her just innocently playing with the kids' toys. That was a day, that you really are grateful for the fact that the authorities demand that if you have a pool, it has to be fenced and childproof. So yeah, that was it. Now, there was another story that I wanted to tell. Oh, after we had the swimming pool built, Lorica was probably about, let's say, 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old. Yeah, let's say 5 years old. I'm guessing now. But we had the pool, and sure, now the very first time we're going to fill it up. And I thought, okay, well, I've got the borehole, which is a strong borehole, or the well. I can connect to various faucets with a couple of hose pipes and start filling up the pool. Now, what was interesting is the kids from next door and Lorica were all playing and cavorting in the pool, which had 5-6 inches of water in it, not noticing that this pool was filling up. And filling up sooner than what they know or anticipated. They didn't anticipate it, they playing in a pool. That pool filled up and filled up, and Tia and I were watching the scene here in front of us. As I say, the three girls did not realize the pools was filling up. And neither Tia or I said something to the girls. Before you realize it, or before the kids realize it, they were splashing and playing in a pool that they hardly could stand in with their noses above the water. So they had to jump and whatever and splash. And you could say that with the pool filling up so rapidly, the kids managed to swim, if I can say swim, without realizing that they were indeed doing so. It was all about, if there's ever an example, this is mind over matter. There was no water in this pool. It was filling up. They played. At one stage, it was too deep for them to stand, so they started swimming. It was not too long after we moved to Nailstrom that the decision was made by the majority of shareholders in our company that we had to move forward with the planned extension of our hunting safari operations in Mozambique.
I'm gonna pause here, because that moving was a long section, and we're gonna pick up, hold on.